Hey there movie lovers, welcome back to Rocky Watches Movies. Today we're diving into one of the slickest, most thrilling action classics of the 1960s, Bullitt. From a legendary car chase through San Francisco's steep streets to the film's influence on fashion and stunts, Bullitt was more than just box office success, it was a cultural moment. But even if you've seen it 100 times, there's always something new to learn. So grab your key, buckle up, and join me as we speed through 20 things you never knew about Bullitt. There are conflicting reports online about who was driving throughout the car chase scene, with some saying it was shared between Steve McQueen and stunt driver Bud Ekins. They report that when McQueen is driving, the rear view mirror is down, reflecting his face. When Ekins is driving, it is up, so his face is hidden. But in an interview, cinematographer William A. Fraker has stated that McQueen did all his own driving except for the last shot, where the car careens into the gas station. And McQueen was determined to perform his own stunts after admitting he hadn't performed the famed motorcycle jump in The Great Escape from 1963. For Bullitt, he wanted to be involved as much as possible in the chase sequences. Bullitt's car is a 1968 Ford Mustang 390 GT 2+2 Fastback, while the villains drive a 1968 Dodge Charger 440 Magnum. Going head-to-head, the Charger edges out the Mustang with a 13.6 second quarter mile compared to the Mustang's 13.8. 2 Ford Mustangs and 2 Dodge Chargers were used for the iconic chase scene, with both Mustangs provided by Ford Motor Company as part of a promotional agreement with Warner Brothers. Veteran auto racer Max Balchowski modified all the cars for high-speed sequences. After filming, both Chargers and 1 Mustang were scrapped. However, the second Mustang, which was in better shape, was purchased by a Warner Brothers employee after production wrapped. The car then ended up in New Jersey a few years later, after being owned by a detective, with the owners using it as their daily driver, until it was parked up with mechanical issues in 1980. McQueen had managed to track the car down and reached out to the family trying to buy it. He even offered to buy the family another car to replace it, but the owner refused. They had paid $3,500 for the car in 1974, but recently it's been sold at auction by the previous owner's son. It went for $3.4 million in 2020 to an anonymous buyer at an auction in Florida. Before the auction in January 2018, the green Mustang GT was brought out into the spotlight on stage at the Detroit Motor Show with Ford to introduce the new 2019 Bullitt Mustang. The original typed letter on Steve McQueen's Solar Production Company's letterhead asking to buy back his car in 1977 was also on display. Amazingly, the legendary car chase through San Francisco wasn't part of the original script. Director Peter Yates, who had filmed a car chase in his prior movie Robbery, wanted to add one here. The chase, along with the iconic San Francisco setting, became one of cinema's most celebrated action sequences. Also, the chase originally had a musical score, but composer Lalo Schifrin suggested omitting it. He felt the raw sounds of the engines were more than enough to keep audiences captivated, making the scene even more intense. The reverse burnout in the chase scene wasn't planned. McQueen accidentally missed a turn, causing him to reverse and then tear off again, a happy accident that Yates decided to keep in the final cut. If you're enjoying the video, a subscribe to the channel would be as cool as a 1968 Ford Mustang 390 GT. The climactic final explosion was almost a disaster. During filming, a rigged car with dummies inside veered off track, causing an early explosion. Luckily, editor Frank Keller managed to salvage the footage, editing it to look seamless. Frank Keller went on to win the Academy Award for Best Film Editing and the American Cinema Editors Eddie Award for Bullitt. And it was also nominated for the Best Sound Oscar but lost out to Oliver. The film's realistic, gripping chase scenes set a new standard for car chases in action movies, inspiring directors for decades. The chase itself, while not overly flashy, emphasized speed and skill instead of speeding up the shot, shaping how action scenes would be approached in Hollywood. The screenplay was adapted from Robert L. Fish's novel Mute Witness, where Bullitt's character was a Boston cop who loved ice cream but never solved cases. Initially, Spencer Tracy was lined up for the role, but his passing in 1967 allowed McQueen to take over, reworking the character's tone and traits. McQueen modelled Frank Bullitt on San Francisco homicide inspector Dave Toschi, who would later become famous for his work on the Zodiac case. McQueen even copied Toschi's unique shoulder holster style, creating a distinct look that many detectives imitated afterward. San Francisco Chronicle crime reporter Duffy Jennings noted that, although film characters capture the swagger and style of Toschi's personality, his approach to police work was by the book, efficient and thorough. As part of his prep, McQueen rode along with police officers to get a feel for their work. When they took him to a morgue as a test, McQueen surprised them by showing up casually eating an apple, a reaction that left the officers impressed by his cool demeanour. Actor Robert Vaughn, who played ambitious politician Walter Chalmers, originally disliked the script, calling it plotless and nonsensical. McQueen persuaded him to stay, and Vaughn eventually accepted the role for a substantial fee. Vaughn later called his work on Bullitt one of his best performances, even though he nearly walked away from it. The restaurant scene features a live jazz performance by the band Meridian West. McQueen had seen them perform at the Trident, a famous restaurant, and wanted them in the movie. In 1968, San Francisco wasn't a major filming location, but Mayor Joseph L. Alioto granted the film crew remarkable access to the city. This included shutting down several streets for the car chase, filming at the San Francisco International Airport at night, and even giving up part of a hospital for a scene. Keen-eyed watchers might notice that the Charger loses 5 hubcaps during the chase scene. A small cinematic error, but a funny one. Steve McQueen's character Frank Bullitt wasn't just famous for his detective skills. His wardrobe, desert boots, a trench coat, a blue turtleneck and a brown tweed jacket with elbow patches turned McQueen into an enduring style icon. These pieces became massively popular after the film's release, sparking a fashion trend that still influences menswear today. Bill Hickman, who played the hitman driving the Charger in Bullitt, had more experience behind the wheel than most stunt drivers. A friend of actor James Dean, Hickman was actually with him on that tragic day in September 1955. He was driving Dean's station wagon and trailer as Dean led the way in his Porsche Spider. After the fatal crash, it was Hickman who pulled Dean from the wreckage. And there you have it, folks. You now know a little bit more about Bullitt. If you enjoyed this video, and I'm sure you did as you made it this far, hit that like button and subscribe so you don't miss any future videos here on Rocky Watches Movies. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Bye for now.